Thanks for going through this video, and in this video I will explain how I finished my assignment 1 for FIT5225 Cloud Computing and Security. And first, let's look at my source code on the Flux server. And you can see here, the Flux server can receive post requests from the client, and each time it receives a request, it loads a UNO function which I defined above, and takes the response of the UNO detection and convert it to JSON object and return it back to the client. And for the UNO detection function, first I create this predict. It's a list used to hold the result of the UNO detection. And this line is I use to load the UNO detection, and this two file is needed to load UNO. And the class is which also was enabled for objects like person, cat, dog, something like that. And the outs, it basically contains everything that the UNO detected for the image. And here, for each detection of the image, if the confidence is greater than 0, so I append the result of the detection to my predict list, and then return the predict list. And you can see here, for my Flux server, I write this code 3 equals 2, so that my cluster server can handle with multi-threading tasks. This is the Docker file for my assignment, and I choose a Python image to build my Docker image, and save the work directory under the code directory, and I add this file. This one is my source code of my Flux server, and this requirement file contains all the needed library for the Python code, and the 3 file is for load the UNO detection, and this command and this run command actually install all the required library that in my requirement file. It will install all the library which is needed to run the Python code, and the last command is when I run the Docker image, it will run my source code, my Python source code. And now you can see the information about my Kubernetes cluster nodes, and you can see I got one worker node and one master node, which is required of the assignment. And you can see the cluster information here, and my master node is running on localhost port 32.769, and I also have DNS. The endpoint of DNS is this one. And now I'm going to show you my deployment file. And you can see the Docker image I use is this one, because I have pushed my Docker image to Docker Hub, so I can pull the image from Docker Hub, and the version is v1. And I want my Flux server run at port 5000, so I say this container port is 5000, and I also say the CPU limit is 0.5. And then I'll show you my service YAML file. And because we want to access my service from the outside, so I set the type to node port, and the port of node port is 30 at 475, and the port is 8080, which is when we want to access our service from outside, we use the port 8080 of our VM and then the request will map to the service, and then we can access our service in this case. When I build the Docker image, I use this command to build the image. And when I need to load the image, as I mentioned in the deployment file, we can pull it from the Docker Hub. And because I have already built this image, so I don't need to do it again. The next thing I want to show you is the virtual machine of the Nectar. And as you can see, this is the IP address of my virtual machine. And I also have do some change on network security groups. And I add a security group which open port 88 of the virtual machine. So when we want to access the service from the outside, we can access the port 88 of our virtual machine, and the request will send to the Kubernetes service. And in this case, we can access our service from the outside. As you can see, for now we only got one pod running in our Kubernetes cluster, but we can scale it to a number we want in order to do multi-threading tasks. So we can use this command to scale up and scale the replica to 3. And you can see it says the Flask deployment has scaled. And if we run the NAS command again, we can see all the 3 pods are running. Now I have increased the Kubernetes cluster replica to 3, and now I'm trying to access my service from my Windows machine. And this is command 9 of my Windows machine, and we use command to access the service. And you can see this IP address is the IP address of my Nectar virtual machine, and we use port 88, which is defined in our service YAML file, and the number of threads is 4. Let's run this command. You can see the server is responding, and now let's go back to our Kubernetes cluster, see what happened. Now we are back to our Kubernetes cluster, and you can see these are 3 pods I have. So let's see what's the log of our 3 pods. First, let's try the first one. As you can see, it is running and it responds our request. And let's try the second one. And its use is also running. So that's it works. And thanks for watching this video.